Move to something else. Let me move to what we call a generative grammar. Now here, generative grammar uh, from the title, or the topic, الموضوع هو the title, هذا title, a generative grammar. You remember last time we talked about what we call descriptive grammar, prescriptive grammar, transformational grammar, systemic grammar, functional grammar, etc. So we have a number of grammars. Yeah. Now, when I say generative grammar, it means this type of grammar is responsible for generating what? Generating. You remember when I said the word generator, and we said that generator or a generator gives us power. You see, in Basra, in southern provinces, they depend on generators. I mean, generators, because power is not always supplied by. Is not always supplied, so they depend on generators. Yani high power stations which belong to the government, they do not always supply power to houses. So when sometimes they fail to provide power to houses. So what do? People resort to those who have generators. They have generators. They pay them money, and in order to supply them with power. This is a phenomenon, in Basra, in other southern provinces. Now here, generation or generator gives us what? Power. Here, a generative grammar, it gives out, generates what? Sentences and phrases. We have just seen that a syntactic rule which says that a prepositional phrase consists of a preposition plus an MP. Now, this is a rule, okay? Now, how many phrases, prepositional phrases, are produced from this rule? Of course, unlimited number. So now, generative grammar is related to syntactic rules. In what sense? Because generative grammar, it generates what? It generates phrases, and it generates what? Sentences. And both the phrases and the sentences which are produced by syntactic rules, they are what? They are well-formed, not ill-formed phrases or ill-formed what? Sentences. Right. Now, what about generative grammar? Generative grammar is related to syntactic rules. In what sense? Because we have also a number of rules, such as the rule we have just given, يعني a prepositional phrase consists of a phrase, prepositional plus noun phrase. How many, how many, I mean, from this rule we can generate prepositional phrases. So now, when I say a generative grammar, I mean a limited number of rules. By a limited number of rules, we can generate what? An unlimited number of what? Of phrases. So now, when I say generative grammar, I mean this: a limited number of rules, and this limited number of rules can generate what? An unlimited number of what? Of phrases and what? And sentences. This is the first phase or aspect of what? Of generative grammar. This is the first aspect or the first function, let me say. Now, or this is the one of the things that generative grammar deals with. Now, generative grammar also deals with something else. What is it? Now, how sentences which are or which look to be different, sentences which look to be different are in fact similar. Sentences which look to be different are in fact similar. And opposite of this is sentences which look to be what? To be similar are different. Are in fact different. يعني what sentences? We have just now we took John is easy to please, John is eager to please. هذه sentences they are dealt with within generative grammar. يعني generative grammar helps us or tells us that sentences which look to be similar, like John is easy to please or John is eager to please, they look to be similar, but that in fact they are not similar, they are different. يعني when we said John is easy to please, معناتها John is easy to please by someone is going to please John. But when we say John is eager to please, now John himself is going what? To please what? Others or anyone, not particular one. Okay? هذا one. The second thing is that opposite of this we have sentences which look to be different, they are in fact what? Similar. Let's take an example on each of this. Right. This leads us to what we call, from generative grammar, we are going to move to what we call deep and surface structure. Deep and surface structure. يعني through deep and surface structure um, almost they are related to this. هذه sentences which look to be different are in fact similar. Sentences which are look to be similar are in fact different. هذه يعني we can explain this through deep and surface structure and through another point or another thing called structural ambiguity. So what does this mean? هذا deep and surface structure. A sentence now what you read or what you see, what you write, all this هذا surface structure, البنية السطحية. We can see it. A sentence, we can read it, we can write it. This is the surface structure. Okay, visible structure. أكو عندي invisible structure here in the mind. هذا invisible structure which we call it what? Deep structure. So now any sentence has a deep structure and surface structure. And definitely the deep structure deals with the meaning of the sentence. Surface structure deals with the syntax of the sentence, the structure of the sentence, يعني how words are arranged within a sentence, and the arrangement gives you the structure of the sentence. Right. Now let's take an example of structures, different sentences which are look to be different are in fact what? Similar. Let's take an example. I write it here. Take for example let's say Fatima washed the dishes. Fatima washed the dishes. This sentence is according to what? Traditional grammar, it is called, the voice here is active, it is Fatima. What did Fatima do? What did Fatima do? Fatima washed the dishes. Now, okay, other one structure. So Fatima washed the dishes. When we change this into what? Active voice, active voice. When we change this sentence into passive voice, it's going to be the dishes are washed. What is the passive form? Passive form هو, because this is plural, good, where other past participle. Were washed, the dishes were washed by Fatima. Now here, the focus is on Fatima. What did Fatima do? Fatima washed the dishes. Here the focus on the dishes. What happened to the dishes? The dishes were washed. Now these two sentences are of different structures. Take it from the verb. هذا الverb هنا past. Also this is past. But what sort of past? Here we have where, يعني هذا شوف الverb were washed. Here the verb is just washed. Here the sentence Fatima is where is Fatima? It goes there. Here the dishes comes here. In this sentence the dishes are here. So there is a difference. Now these two sentences which are different, look to be different. They are different in structure. يعني هسه at least in the verb لاحظ هذا الverb هنا washed here were washed. So there is a difference. Not like John is easy to please, John is eager to be. They are very, very identical. Now, what else? Not only these two structures which have the same meaning, but they are different structure. Take this. It was Fatima. هاي يسمونها cleft sentence. It was Fatima who washed the dishes. It was Fatima who washed the dishes. Okay. Another structure also from we take from the book, which is interrogative. He says here, yeah. What is it here? Yeah, was where? Yeah, this is where the dishes washed by Fatima. So how many structures do we have? The one structure, one, 2, 3, 4. لاحظ هذا structure. It was Fatima who washed the dishes. هذا يسمونه cleft sentence. The cleft sentence starts with it. وهذا it يسمونها dummy it. Here where the dishes washed by Fatima. So now we have 4 structures. هذه 4 structures, they look to be different, but they are what? They are similar in meaning. يعني in other words, if I put it in terms of deep structure or surface structure, I would say that these 4 sentences, they have different surface structures, but they are of the same what? Deep structure. So now generative grammar also touches on this or deals with this. What is it? Sentences which look to be different, يعني different surface structure, they have the same what? Deep structure. Now, right. What else? Let us take opposite of this. يعني what is the meaning of opposite? هسه الآن هذه 1 2 3 4 different surface structures, same deep structure. In John is easy to please, or John is eager to please, or what? Or time flies like an arrow, or what? Foot flies like a banana. They look to be similar, but they are different. يعني they have almost the same surface structure, but they have different deep structure. يعني each one has one particular deep structure. Now لا, all of them has the same deep structure, يعني the same meaning. Now opposite of this, and let's take another thing. What is it? One sentence, we call it structural ambiguity. اللبس بسبب البناء. شوف عندي structural ambiguity وعندي lexical ambiguity. what is the difference between lexical structural ambiguity and uh, what's the difference between uh, lexical ambiguity and structural ambiguity? Now, structural ambiguity is because of the structure, يعني الارrangement. What about lexical ambiguity? Lexical ambiguity, it's because of the word. I'll give an example on each. Let's take the example from the book, which says Ali. يعني الآن when we have one sentence, هذه sentence, because of its structure, and this structure, the surface structure of this sentence, which makes it open to more than one interpretation, more than one meaning. نقول هذا structure نسميه، هذا ambiguity is called structural ambiguity. يعني اللبس أو الغموض بسبب بناء الجملة، هيكلية الجملة, because of the arrangement of the sentence. Okay? يعني whereas here لا. زين. Let us start with lexical. نبدأ بالlexical because it is easier. من أقول مثلا for example هنا هذا المثال, their child has grown another foot. Their child has grown another foot. Here the sentence is ambiguous, بس الambiguity هذا يسميها lexical ambiguity. يعني شنو lexical ambiguity؟ lexical ambiguity يعني لبس أو غموض بسبب because of the meaning of the word, which is this. هذا الفوت. هذا الفوت has more than one meaning. So because of this, because it has more than one meaning, then this sentence is going to have two different meanings. يعني من أقول and their child has grown another foot. هذا الفوت, what does it mean? يعني either it means هو عنده مثلا 2 feet. مو هسه each one of us has 2 feet. But in case a third foot has grown to him, قد نما له, هذا one interpretation. يعني he is going to have 3 feet in that case. هذا one foot هو هذا الفوت. مو عندنا the foot on what you are walking on, what it bears your weight, and what do you walk on? You walk easily because of your foot. Now when the foot يعني God forbid, يعني لا سامح الله, God forbid, what is cut or amputated, you cannot walk easily. So now one meaning of the word foot is that which we use it when we walk. Okay, right. Another meaning is that we do not mean the foot, other part of the body, but we mean what? We mean a unit of measurement. يعني their child has grown another foot. يعني يعني if he was, say for example, 100 meter. 1 meter length. I would say, for example, how tall are you? قل لي I am, for example, 133 centimeters. He has grown another foot, يعني if he is 130 30 or 30 centimeter, then he is going to be 100 and what 60 centimeter, like this, يعني as a unit of measurement, يعني 30 what 30 centimeters قدم, 30 centimeters foot. So now this sentence is ambiguous. يعني شنو ambiguous? Ambiguous معناتها it has more than one interpretation. More than one interpretation. So now the ambiguity here results from what? From the meaning of the word food. What do we call it? We call it lexical ambiguity. Sometimes it is not because of the word in the sentence. It's because of the structure of the sentence that makes the sentence what? Ambiguous. And in turn, بالتالي, it is open to more than one interpretation. Like what? Take this. Annie bumped here. Into a man with umbrella. Is that correct? Man with an umbrella. Now this sentence is open to is what we call ambiguous sentence. And the ambiguity is because of the structure of the sentence. It is not like the word the child has grown, or their child has grown another foot. That's different. That's because of the meaning of the word foot. Here, it is not because of any. Everything is clear now. Where is the no ambiguity? Bumped in, يعني hit, yeah, or collided with. It is clear, يعني. Not like food. Umbrella is known. A man also. Then where is the difference? The difference is with the structure of the sentence. Now where exactly with umbrella هذه a prepositional phrase. ألاحظ with هذا preposition. Here what? هذا شوف article. هذا what? هذا noun. Now the point is, Anne bumped into a man with an umbrella. One interpretation is that it is Anne is carrying an umbrella, يعني her umbrella. Annie is carrying an umbrella, and she bumped into a man with her umbrella. Okay? Whether she has opened, maybe she was opening her umbrella, or يعني whether she was folding or unfolding her umbrella. I mean, it depends. But in both cases, whether it is folded or unfolded, now it is Annie who is carrying the umbrella, and she bumped into a man, she hit a man, she collided with a man, and with her umbrella. Okay? The second meaning is not Annie who is carrying the umbrella. It is the man whom Annie collided with or bumped into is carrying what? The umbrella. So now the ambiguity lies here in structure, not in the word as we witness with the word food. With an umbrella, either who is carrying the umbrella? The man is carrying the umbrella. Annie bumped into a man, and that man was carrying an umbrella. Annie bumped into a man with umbrella, with her umbrella, with her umbrella. I repeat this. Annie bumped into a man, and that man was carrying what? An umbrella. Annie bumped into a man with hair, with what? With hair umbrella. Into a man with hair umbrella. So the umbrella is what? Is either Annie is carrying the umbrella and she bumped into one, or it is the man with whom Annie bumped into is carrying the umbrella. This is like this sentence. ضرب الرجل ابنه لأنه كان مخمورا. هسه مخمورا هذا يسميه lexical ambiguity ولا يسميه structural ambiguity؟ لا هذا structural ambiguity. لأنه هاي الهاء does it refer to the رجل or does it refer to the son؟ هو إذا نقول لأنه كان مخمورا، لأن الأب كان مخمورا فضرب ابنه، لأن ابنه كان مخمورا فضربه أبوه. هذه هو this is the interpretation. لأنه هذه الهاء على من تعود؟ هاء تعود على الرجل، لأن الابن كان مخمورا، لأن الرجل كان مخمورا. You see the point? Okay, another example from the book, and I think I'm going to stop because I feel tired. I feel I have been speaking for more than 1 hour. Here also, I once shot an elephant in my umbrella, in my pajamas. My pajamas, P-A-G-A-M-A-S, pajamas. Now, I once shot an elephant in my pajama. Either it means I shot an elephant in my pajama while I was wearing a pajama, and I shot him. I was wearing my pajamas, because the pajamas it is like trousers, and so I shot an elephant, and I was wearing pajamas, or an elephant in my pajamas. طبعا this is incredible, but this is funny يعني. It is not possible. So either it is I shot an elephant and I was wearing a pajamas, لاحظ also in my pajamas, also like this, with an umbrella. Either I once shot an elephant in my pajama while I was wearing pajamas, or I shot an elephant and that elephant was in my pajamas. I was not wearing pajamas. The elephant was in my pajamas. Now, such a sentence which is open to more than one interpretation because of structure, we call such a thing, or such an ambiguity, we call it طبعا هذا an ambiguous sentence, and we call it structural ambiguity. يعني ambiguity because of the structure of the sentence. Up to now, I am going to stop. Tomorrow, God willing, there is a continuation to this. I'm going to start, I'll talk about 3 diagrams and how from then symbols. This is easy. Then we move to phrase structure rules and movement rule, lexical rules, and then movement rules. Thank you very much, and tomorrow I'll continue, God willing, so that on Wednesday you will have a comprehensive idea, an overall idea on this chapter. I hope that I have covered every point and I was clear. I don't want to say that I was very clear in every point I discussed, but I'm in the hope that I was clear. So because when I am clear, definitely things are going to be clear to you as well. Otherwise, when they are not clear to me, they cannot be clear to you. Thank you very much.